Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alec Reed and this is my channel Alec Reads, and today we are reading another fanfiction that is not the Heartstopper fanfiction. It is a drarry fanfiction called I Still Think You're Beautiful. I have decided that I'm going to do this every other day on the same days that I post the marriage fanfiction. So yeah, if you like drarry and you like this fanfiction, which I read this fanfiction, I started reading it only because I was asked to read it online, and then I kind of fell in love with it. It's my top 5. It's so good, and it really explores the after effects of what people go through after a traumatic event, such as the war that they went through. But anyway, I don't want to get too deep into it, but at the same time I do want to say that I do want people to be careful watching this particular fanfiction, just because there are very, very vivid depictions of self-harm, of suicide attempts. There's just lots of different things that could trigger people, to the point where there's not even, I'm probably just going to put a trigger warning on every single chapter that I do, because every single chapter has a trigger warning. So if you get triggered easily, this is not the fanfiction for you. But I do have other fanfictions, and if you have a different drarry fanfiction or Heartstopper fanfiction or just any random fanfiction, or whether it's a book, I would love to read books too. Let me know in the comments and I will get to that. But anyway, sorry for the long intro, but I just wanted to say those things. Anyway, subscribe, comment, whether it's recommendations or whether it's just saying hello. But anyway, let's jump right into the video. Chapter 11. Draco. Thank you. You're a really good friend, you know that? Ouch. Thankfully, my head was buried in his shoulder, and so he didn't see the look of pain on my face. Hey, tell you what, Harry. Why don't we skip classes? I mean, you've missed a lot already. What does one day change? We broke apart, and he nodded. Where should we go? I would say Hogsmeade, but we couldn't go there without being seen. Mr. Malfoy underestimated my skills of deception. I gave him a puzzled look. Follow me. He grabbed my hand and pulled me to our dorm, where he unfortunately let go to rummage through his trunk. A few minutes later, he pulled out what looked like a blanket and an empty piece of parchment. Only Ron and me and Hermione know about this, so feel privileged that I'm showing you. I rolled my eyes. Harry put the blanket around himself and he disappeared. Where are you? I asked, my eyes scanning the room. I felt someone prod me in the back and turned around to the sound of giggling. Harry stood behind me with the fabric in his hand. What the? A cloak of invisibility. My dad gave it to me. Well, it was my dad's. Dumbledore made sure I got it. He chucked it at me. The cool, silky fabric slipped through my fingers. Wicked, I said under my breath. So, is this... Harry said, and we sat down on his bed. He opened the piece of parchment. It was a completely blank piece of paper. He tapped it with his wand and said, I solemnly swear I am up to no good. On the paper appeared the words, the Marauder's Map. Harry opened it again, and it showed the Great Hall. It had name tags of the people sat there. It showed McGonagall in her office. What's this? I asked. It's the Marauder's Map. I flipped it over again. It shows everyone in Hogwarts, where they are, what they're doing every hour of every day. Made by Messrs. Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Progs? Who are they? Harry swallowed, looked back at the paper, then said, Remus Lupin, Peter Pettigrew, Sirius Black, and my dad. They were all friends at school. Peter Pettigrew was friends with your dad? But he supported... I know. He was the reason I nearly died in the Tread Rizzer tournament. Well, him and Barry Crutch Jr. I sighed, and so did Harry. I'm sorry. For what? For how I was. For how I bullied you and tormented you and your friends. For joining Voldemort. It's okay. You didn't have a choice. I guess. It's just so many people died, and I feel like if I had said no, then that wouldn't have happened. He wouldn't have killed you, and Snape wouldn't have killed Dumbledore anyway. It's not your fault. Thank you. And thank you for forgiving me. Hey, I don't hold grudges. Except if someone doesn't shake my hand, he smirked. I was 11. It seemed like a very big deal at the time. And apparently 6 years after as well. He giggled again, the corner of his mouth, tanned cheeks creasing up, and his eyes sparkling. You know, your eyes are really green. Are they? I always thought they were blue. He smirked again. Come on, let's go. He pulled the cloak around us, and we followed the map to a statue which Harry opened, and we walked through into a tunnel. How did you get the map? I asked. George and Fred gave it to me. They found it in Flinch's office. I nodded, and we carried on walking until we came to a tiled ceiling. Harry pushed one of the tiles up slightly and looked around. There was no one there, so he pushed it aside and climbed up, pulling me with him. Where are we? You ask so many questions. The cellar of Honeydukes. He adjusts the cloak, and we walk up the stairs and put the door down into the town of Hogsmeade. Let's go eat something. And so we did, washing down our food with some butterbeer, though I ate more than Harry did. Afterwards, we went to the Shrieking Shack, Harry brushing his hands over the scratches in the walls. You know, after the war, after all the trials, I came here. You did? Why? Because no one comes here, and I can just be alone. Sometimes I get flashbacks from the war. Like nightmares? I nodded. Not as bad as yours, though. Do you want to talk about it? Not really. He walked over to the window, the sun illuminating his tanned, pale face, casting shadows onto his sunken eyes. Harry, you look really tired. I know. Then why don't you sleep? Because every time I close my eyes, I see them. I was ready to die in that forest. Why is it always me that gets a second chance? What about all the innocent people who died? Where's their second chance? Harry, everyone fought bravely, especially you. But you seriously don't wish yourself dead, do you? I walked over to the window, leaving my head against it. Sometimes, if I had gone into the forest earlier, before the war broke out, then there would have been no casualties. He turned to face me. You should never think like that. About yourself or anyone else. Please, for me, promise me that you will never think like that. Think about what you have to live for. I wiped his tears away and pulled him into another hug. Merlin knows he needed it. Okay, Draco. I promise I'll try. That's all I ask. You know, Hermione is really worried about you. Since when did it become Hermione Granger? You don't like her, do you? He smirked. But no, I don't, but I like you. No, and don't change the subject. We're both worried. Then don't be. I sort myself out. I always do. He ran his hands through his hair. You know your hair is really messy. Didn't your grandfather invent a hair potion? Maybe you should use it sometime. It's better than my hair consisting of not 89% plastic, he joked. Shut up, Scarhead. He laughed, and I found myself laughing with him. Scarface, not Scarhead, he replied. What? You always called me Scarface. You don't think I would forget, do you? Ferret. My smile dropped as he ran out of the shrieking shack, and I tackled him to the ground. He remembered. Chapter 12. Harry. Me and Draco had become quite close friends. Ron's jealousy was evident, and he and Hermione strolled up to me in the 8th year's common room before breakfast. Harry, Ron asked me. Yeah? Why are you always with Malfoy? You've been ignoring us since we came back. Ron, it's only been 2 days. With Malfoy. Well, we share a room together, and we've decided to call a truce and become friends. He's really all right once you get to know him, I said. But it's Malfoy. He is a Death Eater. He didn't have a choice, Ron. So you're defending him? It's not like that, Ron, and you know it. Coming back has been hard for everyone, especially me, and if you opened your eyes, you would realize that. Harry, look, I'm sorry. Hermione told me what happened. Look, Ron, I don't want your pity, okay? I just want you to be my friend. Can you do that? Yeah, sure. Thank you. And I know you hate Malfoy, and I know he was a git, but he's changed. He really has. And he's my friend. So can you just be nice to him? I'll try, but no promises to the ferret. We both laughed. Okay, let's get to class. After class, I ran into Draco. Literally. I collided with him and sent him sprawling on the floor. Oh shit, sorry, ferret, I said, pulling him up. Such vulgar language, Scarface, he said, laughing, his eyes brightening. I have a free period. You? Same. You want to play Quidditch? Sure, meet you in the pitch in 10? It's a date. I mean, as friends, not a date, a friend date. I started laughing as Draco's face went bright red. I get it, Draco. See you in a bit, Harry. I laughed, running to get the broom closet as Draco went to put his books away. Exactly 10 minutes later, we were on the pitch with our brooms. Ready, Malfoy? Born ready, Potter. And I let go of the snitch. It was seeker versus seeker. As we raced each other around the sky, we saw other people watching and walking onto the pitch, and they all watched our small match, but we paid them no attention. I flew around, my eyes scanning the sky for a flicker of gold. Draco did the same. And then we both saw it. It was racing towards the ground. We were neck and neck. Arms outreached, our brooms hit each other, and we fell into the ground. Me laughing and Draco arguing. That was your fault, Potter. I almost had it. You mean I almost had it before your stupid broom hit mine. I laughed. Draco looked at me, straight-faced as ever, and then burst out laughing alongside me. I smiled so much that my face could have broken. Everyone started walking over, looking at each other with confusion, to see two mortal enemies laughing with each other. You all right there, mate? Ron asked me, glaring at Malfoy. Yeah, we're fine. I looked up to see the snitch and plucked it out of the sky, its wings closing. I put it in my pocket, stood up, and pulled Draco up. Come on, let's go have a shower. We grabbed our brooms to the broom cupboard and locked it shut. Draco showered first, as I changed out of my Quidditch uniform. I heard the shower turn on. and off, and tied a towel around my waist, nodding at Draco as he walked out of the bathroom. Time slowed down as he stepped into the room, his perfectly toned, pale body glistening with water droplets, his hair messy for once and soaking wet, still framed his face beautifully. I was in awe. Like the view there, Scarface. He smirked, and I blushed. Don't flatter yourself, ferret. I blushed, and I brushed off the feeling in my stomach. It felt like a fluttering, but that's ridiculous. I couldn't like Malfoy. Could I? I showered, and we got changed. I pushed the feeling I had down and tried to ignore it, even though it resurfaced every time I looked in Draco's direction. We went to chimes and practiced background spells. It mastered it easily, which infuriated Draco. How did you do it? He asked. I'm still struggling. Jealous, are we? I taunted. No, of course not. He sulked. Calm down, ferret. I just practiced a lot. It's quite easy, actually. The feather next to me floated as I talked, which annoyed Draco even more. We haven't even started learning how to do it whilst talking yet. I smirked and helped him with his spells. You just have to concentrate. It's like reading and talking at the same time. But I hate doing that, and I don't talk to people while I read. It's annoying. I know, but you have to try. During our conversation, Draco's jar began to light up, a small flame burning inside it. See? You did it. What? Really? He turned to face his jar, and big, un-Malfoy grin on his face. The flame flickered and went out. Thanks. I didn't do anything. It was all you. No, really. Thanks for being my friend. Everyone deserves a second chance, ferret. Even you. Why don't you say that to yourself more often? He said. Why would I want to call myself ferret? I grinned, running out of the classroom as Flitwick dismissed us. Draco chased me out of the classroom and down the hall. I jumped on the staircase and as it started to shift, leaving Draco behind. He stood at the top in defeat. Meet me by the astronomy tower, I shouted up at him. Though pouting, he nodded and walked in the other direction. To my surprise, he got there before me. I sauntered up to him. All right, Scarface. All right, ferret. My face lit up. Whereas before, his insults were full of malice and attempt to hurt. Now, it was just playful banter. It's much better like this. Like what? Being your friend instead of your enemy? Yes, you were a fool not to take my hand in first year, and then imagine my shock to find you friends with Weasley and Granger. Speaking of, have you made a move with her yet? She seems to be going off with Ron. I mean, I love him and he's my mate, but he's a right ass sometimes. I told you I don't like her, but I do like someone. For some reason, I felt jealous. Oh, Barrett has a crush. I smirked, masking the pain in my eyes. Who is she? Not a she. My mouth dropped. Careful, Scarface, you'll catch flies. The famous Malfoy? Gay? What would your father think? Or hasn't he heard about it? No, he doesn't know, and to be honest, I couldn't care less. Whoa, son, down there. So, who is he? I don't have to tell you. Yes, you do. Is he in our year? Yes. He looked down the corridor. Is it Dean? No. He's with Seamus, isn't he? Draco, just tell me who it is. He looked back at me. It felt just like a bond was between our eyes as he pulled closer to me. You. And then he kissed me. Alright, everyone, that is the end of today's episode. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I am so happy that we left on a happy note this time instead of the unbelievably depressing note that we left off on last time. But anyway, like, subscribe, comment, whether it's recommendations or whether it's just saying hello. I would love to talk to you guys. But anyway, let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I would love to see what your assumptions are for what's gonna happen next. But anyway, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. But anyway, bye, friends. See you in the next episode.